Welcome to the ISB show. It is time. It is time, fans out there. I know everyone's been waiting for this video. Asian fourth round World Cup qualifiers with Sahil, Rahi, and of course, where do we have here?
Oh, jeez Louise, did someone say Garuda? Garuda!
Oh, that wasn't a Garuda, but it looked like it could be.
She is a Garuda.
Boys. I am so excited. This is what we've been waiting for. The culmination of Asian qualifying. It all happens. My goodness.
We, of course, are talking about the last fourth round of Asian qualifiers where everyone will be playing, and we'll start it off with Group B, where Indonesia is playing Saudi Arabia and Iraq, and this is for everything. Well, before I get there, let me show people just for context what this all looks like. Here's what it is. Here's the two groups, and here's how it's going to work. One team qualifies automatically from each of these groups. The best second two will face off in a fight to the finish, guys. So 2 matches to get to the World Cup. That's what's at stake. We're going to start off here. We've been covering, of course, the Asian World Cup qualified from beginning, guys, to end, and we're nearly there. What do you have to say?
Can we take a step back? This is now. We've been on this journey for a long, long time, and it comes down now to 2 matches, Roycito. 2 matches for your World Cup life. 2 matches to determine, are you going to realize the dream of generations, or is it going to be so close, but not quite there?
Yeah. Are you going to create dreams for a nation, or are you going to fail? Those are the 2 options right now. There's no in between. There's no better luck next time. It's you either get it done or you don't. And you have 6 teams vying for 2 automatic qualification spots in a region that has Australia qualified, Iran qualified, Japan qualified, Jordan in their first ever World Cup. Round of applause to the Jordanians, Korea, and Uzbekistan. Viva Uzbekistan as well. I can't wait to see who makes it in this group. There is a lot to talk about. There's a lot to consider. It's terrifying.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Firstly, like I said, we'll start with Group B, which of course contains Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, and Iraq. And Iraq and Indonesia have to travel to Saudi Arabia, right? So it's not going to be easy. Now, of course, just for those who may have missed it, for reference, Indonesia won against Saudi Arabia at home and tied away. So they had a good precedent.
Yeah.
But guys, this is a hard contest for the Indonesians.
It's very tricky, and you rightly pointed out Saudi Arabia has the advantage of playing this game at home. It's going to be a very hostile environment for Indonesia to go into. But remember, as you said, they have the history, having taken a point on the road and having beaten this team 2-0. Remember, the man, though, who scored both those goals, Roy, is not on this roster. That was Marselino Ferdian. But Indonesia has to feel confident knowing they've already beaten this team once before. And if they do it again, they could be in the World Cup.
Yeah. And that's an interesting omission here, because that could potentially be a major factor. Indonesia is going to have to figure out how to work without him. But there's some new players, guys. Yeah. There's a couple of new players. There's most notably, the ones we talked about before, Dean James, Pelupesi, Audero. Speaking of Audero, we got to talk about that goalkeeper situation. But Miliano Jonathans from Utrecht, that is an exciting player who has come into the fold for Indonesia, gives them yet more firepower to consider for that starting lineup for directly off the bench. This is great. This is great for the country of Indonesia. Is he top caliber winger? No, but he is interesting. He's very young. He was born in 2004. So very, very intriguing to see how he fits in, whether he has an impact for this team in these critical, most important matches of Indonesian history right here.
And question marks, right, about the fitness of, I think, their most important player over the past few months. That's Ole Romani, right? Yeah, so if he's healthy, if he's ready to go, it's a huge boost for this team because he has been the talisman.
Yeah. So let's talk about the goalkeeper situation we mentioned, because of course both Martin Pas and Emil Odera have been taken by Indonesia in the goalkeeping situation. It's a tough decision for Kluivert. Who do you play? Because Emil Odera has been fantastic for his club team, and but
For his club team.
Martin Pas has the experience with the national team. Yeah, so it makes an interesting debate.
Again, you go back to the history and you go back to this game where they've beaten Saudi Arabia. Who was in goal for that game? It wasn't Odero. It was Martin Pas. So for me, as a player on this team, seeing Martin Pas back there, knowing what we've accomplished together already, it's a confidence thing. And as a defender, I think you look back there and see somebody you've known. It's a little different. So I understand how good Odero's been and the club he plays for. But in a big game like this, I go with the experience of Martin Pas, somebody who's got you to this point. That's my choice.
Yeah, listen, I think most people may disagree with me because of the name on these goalkeepers' resumes. They're going to disagree that an FC Dallas goalkeeper should be starting over a goalkeeper who plays in Serie A. But let me give you a few points. One, momentum matters. International chemistry matters significantly. Significantly. There's one player who has both of those things. There's one player who does not, who has not hit their stride with the Indonesian national team. Proven under pressure with the national team. There's one goalkeeper who has come up time and time and time and time. Again, for Indonesia, there's one goalkeeper who still hasn't gotten his footing with national team. There's another goalkeeper who has fitness and reliability. Odero has had some fitness issues over the past few months. He has had some injury concerns. Martin Pas hasn't. So for me, it's a no-brainer. I'm an MLS fan. I know MLS well. I know the level of the league. So Indonesians in general aren't going to know the level of Major League Soccer. I'm here to tell you it is a good level. It's not a level like it was 20 years ago that you should worry that your players are playing in this league. It's a very, very high level. So yeah. Martin Pas is doing great. Martin Pas deserves to be the starter, and he should be the starter.
Yeah. It's a very interesting situation now, I think, how it plays out, guys. So I think a lot of people in the press said that first match against Saudi Arabia is going to be very, very difficult, and the one that Indonesia has to get points against, because what people don't understand is Iraq is a very difficult team. Yeah. And that's a team that, Indonesia has traditionally struggled against. And so that first match is so key, and it's going to be hard. But one note about an interesting fact that people said is that the fact that matches are in Saudi Arabia, it's shorter travel time for the Indonesian Dutch contingent. So maybe in some weird way, it could be helpful in that capacity.
Maybe.
All right. Exciting. Last thoughts, guys, on this match before we go to the next group.
Wow. I cannot wait. And if the Garuda find a way to pull off this in these two games, my goodness, Roycito. My goodness. Whew. That would be incredible. That would be incredible. It's a big, big week. The biggest week in the history of this footballing nation, without a doubt.
Yes. And I just want to say two things. One, the pressure is primarily on Saudi Arabia. They're playing at home. They're expected to win. They're expected to make the World Cup. They have more World Cup history. Indonesia doesn't have that level of expectation and pressure. They have hope. There's tremendous hope for this national team, but that pressure and expectation to win isn't there. They need to take that to their advantage and use it in their favor. The other thing I want to say, and Rocky and Sakil, you will not understand, is a secret between me and the Indonesian people, the Garuda. It is Jangan Takut, Kita Bisa. Vamos, Garuda. Vamos.
All right. That wraps up that group. But there is another. And this time it's Qatar hosting UAE and Oman for a chance to the World Cup. And we've talked about, guys, the struggles of this Qatar national team. They are also hosting. In this case, they are hosting the matches against UAE and Oman. But it's an interesting situation that Qatar finds themselves in, and I think this group is extremely even.
It's a weirdly even group because all these teams have a legitimate chance of getting out, and it's really hard to look at these three teams and say there is a clear favorite. As much as we've talked about Indonesia, you'd have to stay in the other group Saudi Arabia is the favorite considering their history. In this group, I look at these three teams and I don't see a singular favorite. Qatar has the history. They've done some things at the international level. They are Asian Cup champions, of course. They hosted a World Cup, which they performed pretty poorly in. This is a weirdly inconsistent Qatari team. It's a team with stars, two big ones, of course, Almoaz Ali. But man, I don't know if I trust this Qatari team. And Oman has looked so good, getting points when they need to. And UAE's been a tricky team, Roy. I don't know who to pick in this group.
And Roy, the UAE just came off a big victory over Qatar, so we've seen what happened in the last match that they played against each other.
Yeah, it's a fascinating group. Like you guys said, it's pretty even across the board, but there's some fascinating storylines. Qatar, this is a redemption story for them. They entered their first World Cup ever as host in 2022. There was a lot of controversy around it, a lot of discussion around why they got it, how they got it, etc. This is their chance to prove that they deserve to be in a World Cup. The only thing that matters is merit, not Reddit. Merit. Reddit matters as well. There's a lot of good conversations on there. But it's merit. They need to qualify on merit. They need to show that they're capable of qualifying and performing in a World Cup. And this is their chance to show the world. So they got that going. They got their captain coming back into the fold for the final qualification push, which is very exciting. There's leadership and finishing will matter tremendously in tight matches. And then we got Oman making their first ever dream run for World Cup qualification. It's looking close. This window is historic for them. Their newly appointed coach brings pedigree, ambition. That dream could become reality. This is an incredible moment for the country of Oman. I'm excited to watch it. I'm secretly rooting for them, and I hope to see them make their country proud, because it's a nation that has risen in soccer over the years, and it makes me happy to see.
An incredibly important player for that team, of course, Al Ghassani. So there are stars littered all throughout this group.
Yeah, don't forget Fabio Lima on the Emirates as well. And so one of the most interesting things as we finish up here is that all of these teams have mostly domestic-based players on each of their teams. They play for their local clubs, or not local, but within the leagues, the league of their countries, which is very interesting. So that chemistry is there, which makes for a fascinating group. We will cover it all, guys, after their matches. We'll tell you who's in a pole position, who needs to improve after the first round of matches, and then it gets very exciting. Go Asian football. We're nearly there, everyone. Keep watching the beautiful game.